What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are here to check out the isinwheel GT1. They sent this over to review about 3 months ago. They told me to take my time, get a good feel for it, and bring my honest opinion. So in today's video, we're gonna be testing it out, we're gonna be riding it around a bit, and we're gonna be talking about the testing we've done over the last 2.5, 3 months. So let's start off with the specs. This is an 800 watt single motor. The motor is in the rear. It runs at 48 volts. It has a max speed of 28 miles per hour, verified, and it goes up to 28 miles on a single charge. Now, my results with the mileage were a little bit lower. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way right now. I was averaging 20 to 22 miles per hour. I weigh about 190 pounds, and I do not ride in eco mode. Pretty much ever. I'm not a fan of it, but again, that's a personal preference. So realistically, you could get up to that mileage if you rode it at the slowest setting, but your mileage is going to vary, as they do with every single scooter out there. Mileage is always going to vary heavily based on many factors: temperature, weather, wind, weight, slope in the road. There's a lot of different reasons. All right, so let's go ahead and start with what is probably one of the most compelling parts to this entire scooter, and that's gonna be the price, guys. This thing has been continuously on sale for $549 since they sent it to me. So I'm guessing that's basically going to be the actual price of the scooter. There are not many scooters out there that'll do 28 miles an hour with quad suspension and 10-inch pneumatic tires that are gonna come in anywhere near that price range. Normally you're looking at $800 to $900 for that kind of setup, if you will. All right, so now taking a closer look, right here on the left, we do have our main control hub. Down here, you have your blinkers. Clicks back and forth. It has a nice rubber gasket, but if you look kind of close, the rubber gasket likes to peel off. A little bit of glue there might be nice. Then right here, you have the on button. Let's go ahead and power it on and we'll take a peek. Pretty decent screen here. Again, I don't know if this is gonna be showing up in the camera, but it's very clear in person. Even in direct sunlight, this shines pretty good. It shows you your maximum voltage here, 54. Down here, it has a trip meter as well that can go between trip and total miles. Then over here, it's gonna show your speed. Now this is gonna jump back and forth between your max speed and average. Then of course you have your normal speed right up here on top, as well as your riding mode. Now in order to change the riding mode, it's pretty simple. So you start right here, you have the positive. This will take you up, max 4. That is the top mode right there. You also have a built-in horn. That is not something you normally see on scooters under even $1,000, which you totally should. Adding a horn like that, it is not expensive. Companies, please get on board with this idea. All right, coming down here, this is the hook that is going to latch when you fold it. I'm not a huge fan of folding scooters because the hooks never latch. They never quite stay down. They're not magnetized. I'm just not a huge fan, but it does work. Pretty standard. It does come with this bag right here for free. The bag attaches right here with a couple of Velcro on top. It's very stable. I put a bunch of weight in there to see if these straps would hold up. It held up a lot better than the Timu variant. This right here is going to be your throttle. Now, if you watch down here, she starts spinning right away. This is not a kickoff scooter. And then you have your brake here. Now, if you guys look, we did a bit of a crash test too. So in the crash, it kind of bent our handle a bit, but it still works just fine. That is no fault of isinwheels. That is totally a fault of riding on loose gravel. The kids are not quite as experienced, so sometimes they still have accidents, but they were wearing helmets, so everybody's okay. Coming down here, you have the headlight. It is not adjustable. It's kind of fixed. It does have some cooling wings on the side, but it is a 4 LED array and it's decently bright. All right, guys, this is a GT1 at night. You can see we have some nice accent lights on the side. We have our brake light in the back. And then, of course, you have your blinkers. Now, the blinkers, the weird part is they're only on the side. Also, I noticed on the left side, only my one blinks. And on the right side, both blink. I'm guessing that is a small wiring issue. Nice little blue lights in front, just kind of a cool accent. And then you can see the headlight. It's a little hard to see on camera, but the light bleeds off to the side a lot better than most of the scooters we test out. Obviously, I complain about the lights on a lot of the other ones because it's kind of cheap to add on, but this one's not bad. When you're riding at night, you can definitely see around some corners, and I really appreciate that. Again, guys, I wish the camera was kind of showing this a little better, but kind of hard to film these at night sometimes. And of course, as you can see, the screen, very visible at pretty much any time of day. Up here in the front, you have dual suspension in the front. Then right there, you can see you have dual suspension in the rear as well. Really nice brakes. We'll do a brake test here in a little bit. You have 10-inch pneumatic tires with a ton of grip. In the back here, you have the exact same size brake, as well as a little closer look at that rear suspension. Now, guys, the rear suspension and the front suspension, We'll get into that here in just a little bit. All right, next is probably when I consider my first problem with the scooter, and it's this kickstand right here, guys. I am not a fan of this kickstand. I don't quite understand why they put this one on here, but let me show you why. So while this kickstand does work, it's nice that it's out of the way. It's nice that it has a spring. If you just barely set this thing down, that is why I don't like this kickstand. There have been a dozen or more times where I have set this thing down nicely and it just tips over on me. So not a huge fan of the kickstand. Now that is not exactly a major down point of the scooter. It's just, they asked me to review it, so we're gonna review it. All right guys, we're gonna go ahead and start out in mode 1. All right, so we can see right here, mode 1 maxes out at 9 miles an hour. Do have a little bit of tire noise from the off-road tires. Now, if you look right now, I'm no longer touching the accelerator. This thing does have a cruise control type system built in, and it's pretty automatic. So you need to be aware of that it's set up. Because if you forget and you think you're gonna release that throttle and slow down, you might have a bad day. All right, jumping into mode 2. Max speed sitting at about 15 miles an hour. Definitely not too shabby for a mode 2. This is gonna be a mode that's gonna get you a lot better gas mileage. Now, in order to turn off that cruise control, guys, just go ahead and hit any button, brake, throttle, even the plus button over here will do it. All right, quick brake test. Woo. Yeah, that front brake, she's got quite a bit of grip to her. We're gonna go ahead and do mode 4. This is gonna be the maximum speed mode right here. As you guys can see, it has no problems hitting that 28. Even with me on it, the 800 watt motor has more than enough power. And I will say at top speed, it does feel pretty stable. I'm not feeling any wobbles, no jerks back and forth. It feels like it's gonna go straight, no death wobble, nothing like that. So at this max speed, I don't think you're gonna need any kind of stabilizer or anything like that. All right, let's go ahead and cut across the rough grass here and see what we got. All right, guys, I'm talking right now so you can hear the vibrations in my voice. This leads me into the next thing that I don't love about the isinwheel GT1. So while it does have quad suspension, guys, it is extremely stiff suspension. This suspension needs to be softer. So as nice as it is to have quad suspension, I will be honest, this thing kind of rattles your brain a bit if you're actually trying to take this off-road. We took it down many trails and I actually lost one of my cameras due to it. It was vibrating. It's a different kind of vibration, but it vibrates kind of straight through the handles into your head, and it actually loosened one of my camera mounts and it went tumbling down the trail. Check this out. 190 pounds. Now, that said, there is a really good chance this suspension will kind of loosen up over time, but I really wish they had a way to adjust it because for my taste, this is just way too stiff. But again, it's hard to hate on it too much because it comes in at such a good price. You have to keep in mind, this is only $550. This is barely higher than your average Corona scooter or something similar, and you really do get a lot more. If this suspension gets a little bit softer, this would honestly be my recommendation for the entry-level scooter of the year. This is honestly one of the biggest factors for me when it comes to this scooter because they sell this as an off-road scooter. It has 10-inch pneumatic tires that have off-road tread. This is designed to be off-road. It goes off-road, it gets through obstacles, and really it conquers just fine. It has no issues getting through. The problem is the amount of vibration you have while you're achieving that. The vibration's a little too high to be comfortable with heavy off-roading for me personally. Now, there are a couple options for that. One, the suspension will likely wear in a bit. You know, at this price, they're not gonna put $1,000 shocks on this. But now, you guys heard me say earlier, this is still my contender for the best budget scooter of the year. And that's because you still get a crazy amount of power and features for the price, $550. And that is at the current prices with tariffs going through the roof and complete uncertainty on everything price-wise. Their price is still $550. They sent it to me before the tariff started, and now the price has not changed $1. So at this price point, what would I love to see different from isinwheel? Because that is something I always like to ask. Maybe the company watches this review and they take note. I would love to see a little bit better kickstand, and I would love to have at least the front shocks be adjustable. That would be great. Just, you want to soften up that front ride a little bit so you're not jittering the inside of your head while trying to off-road. But again, guys, with all of that said, this is probably still my #1 contender so far this year for budget scooter, because there's not a lot out there anywhere near this price range where you're going to get this much for the price. So as much as I would love to keep repeating myself, that's gonna be about it for this video, guys. If you have any questions on this scooter, just like the rest of my scooters, I do not sell them, I keep them around. We continue to ride them in the future because I wanna know how they hold up. We will be doing the 1-year review on some scooters coming up here real soon. So if you wanna see how some of those are holding up, make sure to like and subscribe and stick around. It helps the channel, and we're always trying to put out new and better content. On that note, guys, I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.